very good morning to one and all. Let us begin our today's catechism with a short prayer. I request all of you to join your hands, close your eyes, and remain in prayerful silence.
O God, my Guru, the source of wisdom and knowledge, I ask for your blessings before I begin my studies. Lord, enlighten my mind so that I may learn all that will make me good, loving, and kind. I offer you this day my teachers and all my friends. Bless us all. Amen.
So, my dear children, do you remember anything that we have learned during our last class? Yes, I was talking about we all have certain desires for something or the other, whether it is for new clothes, good foods, toys, games, etc. We all have desire for something or the other. But when this desire is not controlled, then somewhere we are landing into trouble. That is why your lesson talks about desire, not the undeserving. I also was telling you about the story of Naboth and the Ahab, King Ahab, how King Ahab snatched away the property of Naboth because of their desire. And I also was telling you about the greed. What do you mean by greed? The greed, when we have something, we want something, then we look for it to get immediately. We look for it to get immediately. And at this age, you are a student studying in 7th class. You may be not having such a big greed for big possessions. Rather, you would be thinking about some stationery items, maybe pencil, box, clothes, good foods, etc. But it is very much important to understand what is according to our Christian values, what is deserving for us. I also was telling about the differences between passion and greed. Passion is something which you pursue slowly in order to make yourself better, whereas greedy is very opposite. You want things immediately. You want it because you desire it very strongly. We also have talked about earning of wealth. Earning of wealth is not bad. But then, when we have strong desire for wealth and we are not having any proof to give back to who are involved in practice of being greedy. So snatching away somebody's and property and making it your possession again is somewhere you are desiring for something which is not yours or which do not belong to you. So, my dear children, today I am going to take a topic which is going to tell you how you can control your greed. So, in the last class, we did talk about greed and how greed can harm us, but how to control greed is something that you will learn today. So, my dear children, in last class, in activity, I have told you that how you have to closely observe yourself entire week and see, do you feel greedy about certain things? Are you able to control that feeling? I hope you all did observe little activity how you respond to certain things where you are able to control yourself. If not, today I will tell you how you can control emotions and greed. The first one, we should practice the spirit of poverty. The first one, we should practice the spirit of poverty. What is the spirit of poverty? The spirit of poverty is something you or a kind of desire to live life. Just you decide that you don't need to do something like a luxurious life. Instead, you prefer a simple and humble lifestyle. If you have enough money, you prefer to spend it only for needs, not for your greed. That is what a spirit of poverty. There is also a evangelical poverty. So evangelical poverty is where you practice poverty on deliberate even though you have enough money, clothes. Still you keep yourself in a simple manner. You maintain yourself in a simple manner because somewhere you know that practicing that poverty leading you is grace of God. Also, when you practice the spirit of poverty, you find satisfaction. Whatever you have, whatever you possess, you feel satisfied. Suppose you have one pencil and you are satisfied with that pencil. Suppose your notebooks, your notebook has very little page left over to complete. Still, you try to use it. Still, you try to use it. This is what spirit of poverty. The next virtue is that how to conquer greed is thrift. What do you understand by thrift? God has given you wealth, good life to all, to almost everybody. All are enjoying lives. But then, when we have enough of wealth, we also have the responsibility to spend it responsibly. Yes, if you have wealth, you should understand that God is the owner of that wealth. You are just steward to that wealth. So it is up to you how you spend that money or how you spend that property. You should use that money for your requirement, and once your requirement is done, give it away to the society. Whatever is remaining and whatever is with you, once your sharing is over, your requirement is over, then you must share with others. Because there are so many people who are not privileged to have whatever you are having. So we should understand the need of the society and act accordingly. That is what thrift teaches us. So, my dear children, it is said that if you have more, then it is your responsibility to give back more. This is what exactly the spirit of poverty and thrift which teaches us. Moving ahead to the next virtue is generosity. So, you all are aware of the word generosity, isn't it? Where you try to give certain things, what you have, to those who do not possess it. Christmas is arriving. This can be a very good season to practice generosity towards the people who are not as privileged as you are. So, my dear children, helping others is a virtue and definitely it counts in heaven. You will be blessed if you do something like that when you understand need of other person and act accordingly. The next virtue is satisfaction. Very difficult to practice. No matter How much do we get, but we are never satisfied, isn't it? But then, do you know the story of Buddha? Yes, he was a king, lived in a palace, saw the suffering of people. He had everything, stepped out of the palace and saw the suffering of the people. He sat under the tree trying to figure out why are these people suffering. The answer that he got was desire is the cause of all suffering. So more and more you desire, the more and more you are unsatisfied and keep on chasing what you do not have. So my dear children, this chase is something that leads us to unsatisfied situation where you do not feel happy about what you have. We should always be grateful for whatever we possess, and that is what Jesus also teaches us. And whatever we have, we should have mentality of sharing with others. So satisfaction is a virtue which is very important if you want to practice and conquer greed, and we have to be satisfied with whatever we have. Not only satisfied, but also be grateful all that we possess, because everything is God's gift to us. Everything is God's gift to us. The next virtue is protection of nature. When I talk about the protection of nature, I am talking about all the public property that you see around. If you go to the park and try to destroy what is lying there, it's not your personal property. Instead, it is for everybody who visits that park. It is your responsibility to do protect whatever possession is there in the public place. So protection of nature is very important, and another very important virtue that we all should practice as being Christians. So my dear children, I hope you have understood all the virtues that we have taught. Let us quickly revise what we have learned today. We were talking about virtues which will help us to conquer greed. The first virtue that we have talked about, the spirit of poverty. Is spirit of poverty is somewhere you practice a life of simplicity and you live like a poor just because you do not feel like having a luxurious life. The next virtue is thrift. It is something where you do possess a lot of possession and lot of wealth, but you try to understand your responsibility to give back to the society. So once your need is done, remaining you should give it to the society. The next virtue we have talked about, generosity. Generosity, when you see person suffering or see a person who is in need of that person, and you act accordingly. Next virtue we have seen, the satisfaction. Satisfaction is very important. Until and unless you feel satisfied with whatever you have, you will never ever be able to practice. So my dear children, the very basic nature starts to conquer greed is satisfaction. The last one is protection of nature. As citizens, we all have the responsibility of protecting what is public places. So my dear children, go through this chapter once again, listen carefully, try to understand and live life which is pleasing to God. So till we meet again, take care. God bless you. Have a blessed day.